Yo, what is going on, guys? Specs Draco here, and I'm bringing you guys back to another PMC Orange League battle. This week we're going against Pointblanke and the Winnipeg Blue Blastoise. Now, Kurt is one of my absolute best friends in Draft League format. He was one of the first people I did my first Wi-Fi league with. Great guy, great friend of mine. Should be a lot of fun. If you guys don't remember, our team is the Hartford Wailmers. We have Thunderous Eye, Mammothswine, Mega Garchomp, Manaphy, Reuniclus, Lycanroc, Dusk, Salazzle, Mimikyu, Hitmontop, Leavanny, and Zangoose. And now we are playing Tapu Lele, which I don't have switch-ins to at all on my team. Salamence, which I have two options to revenge kill, which are Mimikyu and Ice Shard from Mammothswine. If either of those things go down, Salamence runs through my team. Toxapeck, which walls so much on my team. Tangrowth, if it's AV, walls so much on my team. Galvantula, so I have to at least prep and respect webs a little bit. Umbreon is stupid bulky. Kamal I don't think comes, it doesn't do anything. Avalok I don't think comes, it doesn't do anything. Talonflame is no way coming. It does nothing versus my team. Terrakion, I want to talk about him for a second. So if he clicks SD and he's fighting Z, I lose. So I have no switch into that thing at all. And Mega Steelix is just another like fat mon. The only thing I'm really worried about is Umbreon Wish passing into the Mega Steelix. Either way, let's get into my team here. I have a Fighting Z, Cyclos, the Thunderous, with the Prankster ability, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, Nasty Plat at +2, and a little chip on Tangrowth. As long as we've identified and been able to take out his Scarfer, Thunderous actually just like wins. We have enough speed to outspeed Galvantula. Next we have Sasha, the Mega Garchomp, Shiny, with Earthquake, Fire Blast, Dragon Claw, Stealth Rock, max HP, max defense. This is one of the only Pokemon that can take two choice banded Terrakion hits. Like Reuniclus is physically bulky, so it can take close combats and earthquakes and no problem, but it can't take banded Stone Edges. Now Garchomp can take two banded Stone Edges or two banded close combats, guaranteed every time, unless crits. Next we have Thick the Mammothswine, XP Belt, Thick Fat, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Superpower, max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature with a 4 special defense. Earthquake and Icicle Crash, you guys know what Mammo does. It's ridiculously hard to switch into this Pokemon. Ice Shard is strong stab priority, and it's 4 times effective against his Salamence, which I'm worried about. It's nice to have this little failsafe in the back in case Salamence gets out of hand. He could be Yachi, but it still does a ton, so as long as we just hit it as it sets up, we should be okay. Superpowers here, mostly for the Umbreon. I guess kind of for like, I guess fighting does hit his team pretty well, so it's not like it's a useless move and just for one Pokemon. So it does do a lot with Expert Belt behind it and Mammothswine's tremendous attack stat. Next we have Thought the Salazzle. With a Passion Berry, Corrosion, Fire Blast, Sludge Wave, Toxic, and Fake Out. Fake Out's there for the Galvantula and Galvantula only. Toxic is there because Toxapex is an amazing switch into this thing, but with Corrosion we should be able to get a Toxic off on it. And our speed is to outspeed Galvantula once again. We have 4 Spadef, 4 defense, 60 HP, and max special attack. His Fire Blast switch-ins outside of Toxapex, his only other resist is Talonflame and Terrakion. And they're not very bulky, so they can probably only take a couple each. Our Passion Berry here is for if Toxapex is in and it's gotten up T-Spikes and we need to get rid of them, we have to switch into Salazzle because I'm not bringing my hazard removal this game. The Passion Berry is there so we can get in and do so and not just drop to a Scald if we've taken a little bit of prior damage. After we do that, we'll most likely just sack Salazzle to fire off a Toxic on it. Next we have Gummy the Reuniclus, Leftovers, Magic Guard, Calm Mind, Psychic, Focus Blast, Recover, max HP, max defense because I got scared of Tarak. Originally this was AV, but if lately was Specs, Psyshock still had a chance to 2-hit KO me. So it was really hard to prep for this thing. That mon just is like really like, it's like just real like big feels bad to prep against because switch-ins to that thing don't exist. I think it's super broken in Draft League. Same with like Mega Lottie is, but we allowed both of those, I guess. We allowed Naganadel too, but it can't use Z-moves. I didn't draft any of that stuff because I didn't get so lucky to have the team I took over have any of that. But I mean, I guess if you had any of that, you wouldn't have dropped in the first place. So I guess it makes sense. And last but not least, we have me for the Manaphy with Leftovers, Hydration, Scald, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Tail Glow. Max special attack, max speed to tie Salamence, Max special attack to do as much damage as we can. 4 HP, that should be a defense. That was my mistake. It puts us at an even number of HP. It doesn't really matter too much, I guess. So overall game plan here, use these two to wall break, and hopefully get up rocks with Garchomp. Actually, and Salazzle to wall break too. Hopefully you get a setup sweep with Manaphy or Thundy, because with a little chip on Tangrowth, if he is a V, both of these Pokemon just actually 6-0. Manaphy does have to worry about the Terrakion potentially being faster, and so it might not be as reliable as Thundurus, because Thundurus would outspeed everything, provided, you know, Choice Scarfs. We only have one real, like, defensive pivot mon, so it's gonna have to be a lot of predictive switches, and, like, really predictive switches to get some of my mons in, aside from Uniclus. So without further ado, if I could speak, English is hard, let's get right into the battle here. Oh, it was playing in the background. Okay, well, just ignore that part. Either way, right off the bat here, we can see that he doesn't bring the Pex, he doesn't bring the Umbreon, but he does bring the Webs. Now, he also doesn't bring the Salamence, which is okay, because I didn't bring the Mimikyu anyway, so I guess it scared him out. You know, prepping into Mimikyu Mamoswine kind of wards off Salamence, so I can understand why. So, he does bring the Webs, so that's something we definitely have to watch out for, because I only have Salazzle's Fake Out to hopefully prevent that. If I can't offensively pressure that Galvantula at any given point, he gets the Webs up, and the Webs really hurt my team, because Manaphy doesn't outspeed things it should, Salazzle doesn't outspeed things it should, and Garchomp and Mamo won't outspeed things. The only mon that I have that doesn't care is Thundurus, because it's off the ground, and Reuniclus because it does not outspeed anything anyway. He brings the Terrakion, which if he's SD, I don't have switch-ins to, so I gotta make sure to be careful when handling that. He brings the Tapu Lele, he brings the Mega Steelix, and he brings the Tangrowth. Basically, I just have to figure out if Lele or Terrakion is his choice Scarfer. Once we do that, and if we can play around it correctly, we can assess our win con in Manaphy or Thundurus. But basically here, we have to lead Salazzle 100%, because it's the only way I have to prevent Galvantula's stupid Webs. So we're going to hope he leads Galvantula, and we're going to hope he lets us fake him out and then threaten to kill him on the next turn. So we're going to lead Salazzle. Don't even think about it. He does lead Galvantula like I'd hoped. So this is probably the best turn one we could have asked for. So he's going to stay in here. He's going to catch this Fake Out. He's going to stay in and let it happen, which is fantastic, because we break its Sash. We're going to click Fire Blast here, and he doesn't have any switch-ins on his team. So he's going to go into his only resist, which is Terrakion. And he's going to take about 30, a little more than 30%. However, I can't risk this being Scarfed, so we do have to switch out. And we're going to go right into our Fizdef Garchomp, expecting the Stone Edge or Earthquake. You're going to see here that he does go for the Earthquake, and we are going to eat this up. Doing next to nothing. So he is not going to lose any health, so I know it's not Life Orb. We're going to Mega and click Fire Blast here, because his Fire switch-ins are very limited. Also, we know he wasn't banded Terrakion, so we can assume either set up with a Z move or Scarf, which fits my suspicions that Terrakion or Lele is a Scarfer. We're going to click Fire Blast here on the Tangrowth to gauge this damage, and we're going to see that it only does right around 50%, meaning he definitely is Assault Vest. We're going to switch right out here into our Salazzle, expecting like a knock. Earthquake would have been his best play, and it would have been really risky to click that, but he does just click Knock, knowing that we weren't staying in. He knocks off our Pasture Berry, which wasn't useful anyway because he didn't bring the Toxapex. We're going to click Fire Blast here, and he still doesn't have switch-ins, so he's going to go right back into Terrakion. Now, the way he's playing this definitely makes me think that he is Choice Scarfed, and he's able to take these Fire Blasts and Revenge Kill us the next turn. So, again, we can't risk that. We're going to have to go right back out into Reuniclus this time, expecting him to expect my Garchomp switch in and click Close Combat, which you'll see here that he does. Reuniclus is able to eat that up, no problem. And here, I know he's going out into either Tapu Lele or Tangrowth to deal with this Reuniclus, so I'm going to call that, and I'm going to double into Salazzle. There's no Stealth Rocks up on the field. This is a very good way to get in Salazzle, because Salazzle pressures his team so much. So We double. He does go into Lele. We're going to go into Salazzle. Now, here's a big turn. The way he's been playing that Terrakion, I would assume Terrakion was the Scarfer, not the Lele. So I'm going to stay in here, and I'm going to click a Sludge Wave and see what he wants to do. So he does switch out, basically all but confirming that Terrakion is a Scarfer and Lele is not. So Steelix is going to come in here. We're going to click Sludge Wave. Doesn't affect him, which was a solid switch on his part, because I can't risk that Fire Blast. No way. So he's going to go... And we're going to go into our Mega Garchomp, which handles this thing just fine. I couldn't risk him being like very spadef because he would live a Fire Blast. He's going to Mega here. And he's going to make a solid play and click his Stealth Rocks. So that means Salazzle can only come in a few more times because I don't have a way to get rid of these. So good on Kurt to, you know, assess that Salazzle was a threat to his team and try and deal with it like through hazards. So we're going to click Fire Blast again. Basically Fire Spam against the team is really solid. Aside for Pex, which I guess in prep discourages it, but we're gonna miss our Fire Blast. Now, if you guys remember, right around the last time Tank switched in, we did almost around 50%, and he was low enough to where 2 of these would have come so close to killing, and he just stays in Giga Drains. So if we took the hit on both of those, he would have been so low to where this Pokemon actually almost isn't even a threat, where he might have even sacked it. But we missed, so it's not. We're going to go right into Salazzle, expecting like an HP Ice this turn. He is going to click the HP Ice, and we're going to get off our... he's going to crit us. Doesn't really make too big of a difference because we were dead to our next Rock Switch in either way. He's going to go back into Terrakion. So we're going to Fire Blast, and assuming he's still Scarf, we lose Salazzle next turn. So we're just going to click Fire Blast and hope. We outspeed, which is huge, but we miss. So we don't kill it, and we lose our Salazzle. Now, you guys remember his team. You guys know how little switch-ins he had to Salazzle. After this thing died, Salazzle, like, 6-0'd the rest of his team. Like, he just fired off Fire Blast until he went down. So it's super really bad that I lost it. So here we're going to go into Thunderous. I start to, like, kind of play on tilt at this point. I already missed 2 Fire Blasts, which are, in my opinion, pretty crucial. So we're going to go into Thunders here. We're just going to click a Thunderbolt because I just kind of wanted to attack what's in front of me. I was kind of losing it. I wasn't playing right. I wasn't predicting. I wasn't playing on my game after the Salazzle died and the way it died. So he's going to go into Tangrowth. That's going to do absolutely nothing. We're going to switch out here and go into our Uniclus. It's our only real switch in to the wide move pool of Tangrowth. He's going to click Knockoff and get rid of our leftovers. It doesn't do too much damage. I decided to stay in and just throw off a Psychic here, hoping to weaken this thing a little bit. So he's going to click Giga Drain here and get some health back, and we're going to Psychic. Now, this was a bad play, 100%. I should have just clicked either Calm Mind or Recover. He's going to click Knockoff this turn, and I was at 52 health. Now, he wasn't invested. We talked after the game. That was actually the max possible roll the Tangrowth could have gotten. So I've already gotten 2 misses and an absolute max roll on his part, and he crit me. The crit didn't matter much, but, you know, still, the hacks is not in my favor this game. We know he's going to switch out here as I go into Mammo on his Tangrowth, so I'm going to click Earthquake, I guess just to get a little more damage on Avalugg. I guess a little more is better than the 0 that Icicle Crash was going to do. So we're going to go out into our only real switch into this thing, which is our Manaphy. And he's going to read this really well because I wasn't playing up to my standards at this point. I was just playing super safe, super passive, like doing what I had to do to not lose. I wasn't playing to win. I was just playing to not lose, which wasn't going to get me anywhere. So he reads that nicely. He goes Galvantula. He stays in and Thunderbolts when I have 2 ground types in the back. And he crits my Manaphy. I live that hit every time because he wasn't Life Orb. But he crits me to kill me. So that's a little unfortunate. But what are you going to do? It's Pokemon. We're going to go Thunderous here. And I was so tilted that I decided to just click Nasty Plot in this thing's face. When it just killed me if it attacked me. He plays for Differential and goes into Tangrowth. Now, this is a huge turn because at +2 with a little bit of chip, as you guys remember, Thunderous 6-0s. His Lele we've figured out is not Scarfed, and his Terrakion we've already learned is not Scarf as well. So unless he switched out fearing maybe, I don't know what he would have feared. If he was Scarf Lele, he would have stayed in 100%. Unless he was like predicting a double or something, but he doesn't have choice Scarfers, or so it looks like. So this Thundurus is actually in prime position to maybe bring this game back for me. So we're going to click Sludge Wave here because Tangrowth is a little weakened into the range where it has a really solid chance to kill. He's going to read that well. He's going to go out into his Mega Licks, and we're going to do nothing. Here, we're going to get... I guess Thundurus was angry that Mega Steelix switched in and ate the Sludge Wave, because he decides that we're going to kill every Steelix for the next 100 years of draft format with this +2 Z Focus Blast. So we're going to hit the Mean Whip. We're going to throw out our Fist of Fury, and we're going to smack this Steelix all the way back into this rock and leave a giant Steelix-sized hole where he used to be. Iron Lasso is going to go down in a heartbeat. So he regens Tangrowth back up to full, and this is really important because I don't have a chance to kill him at all. I do like 97 max, so I have to click Nasty Plot again to ensure that I kill the rest of his team. I also ran the Calix. HP Ice had no chance to kill me from where I was at. He goes for the Rock Tomb, and he's going to miss. So I can pause right here to talk about that for a second. So obviously missing the Rock Tomb was directly game-losing hacks. Had he hit that, he goes Tapu Lele next turn, he outspeeds me, he kills me, or I have to switch, and I never get this opportunity to set up with Thundurus again because I died to rocks if I do switch out. So basically he had the game locked up if he hits that. Now, I can't be upset, or I can't feel bad is what I'm trying to say, because I already dodged 2 Fire Blasts, or he dodged 2 Fire Blasts, and he crit my Manaphy, and even though it didn't matter, he got the crit on Slazzle, as well as the absolute max roll to kill my Reuniclus. Now, his hacks was directly what loses him the game. Spoilers, I'm sorry guys. However, my hacks led up to this super losing battle that I had to fight back for. So I don't feel too bad. His was more directly impactful, but mine was just a chain of hacks that led up to a super bad position. So either way, we're +4 now. We're going to click Sludge Wave on this Tangrowth. We are going to take it out. And he doesn't have anything. Unless this Lele was choice scarfed earlier and he switched out on our Slazzle, fearing something or predicting a switch, we're going to clean up this game with a 6-kill Thundurus Nasty Plot sweep. We're going to click Sludge Wave again. He isn't scarfed. This Lele, which I had no switch-ins for, it feels really good to just see it completely drop. So he goes down, and I believe at this point all he has left is Galvantula, Terrakion, and Avalugg, none of which outspeed us. And we're just going to click another Sludge Wave on this Galvantula, and we're going to easily take it out. We are a +4 Thundurus. So the Rock Tomb miss wouldn't have mattered at all if he didn't make that misplay on Galvantula and switch into Tangrowth for differential. I can see why he did it, because at that point, he felt it was a safe play to make, because if he, like, in theory, 95% of the time you switch into Tangrowth, he gets the Rock Tomb off and he wins the game. So I can't fault him for playing like that, because it's in theory 95% of the time it's a super safe way to win. Either way, he missed, so he got the real shit into the stick. We're gonna clean up the game with Thundurus. It's gonna be 6 kills for Thundurus. We're gonna win 3-0 against one of my best friends, Kurt, and against one of my best friends. This hacksy kind of game just really, like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like great as a win. Especially because I relied on him misplaying and then missing a move. So either way, we took over an 0-2 team. We are now 2-2 with a -4 differential. Next week we take on Matrix and the Carolina Lycanrocs. It should be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys back here for that next Monday. Until then, I'll catch you later, guys. Peace.